sorry for the weird lighting, but I really just wanted to get this started. So our next book series, Romeo and Juliet with angels, chimeras, humans, other dimensions, and the apocalypse. That'd be fun. So like I said, angels, chimera, humans, other dimensions, apocalypse, where can you get this, Daughter of Smoke and Bone? This is actually the third one, Dreams of Gods and Monsters. Makes a lot more sense when you read it. Same with all the other titles. First one's Daughter of Smoke and Bone, second one's Days of Blood and Starlight. So this book is about, just to give you a rundown real fast before we get into characters, so this book is about a girl named Karou, and she is human with blue hair. Thought I'd say that. She is working for and was raised by Brimstone, who is a chimera by definition. He has ram horns, a lizard's tail, lizard legs, I think he is some part of a bull somewhere, and a human body. It's weird. They're just a mashup of everything. Pretty much half the time I just think of any mythological monster, but they're not monsters because they're nice. It's strange. But, as you can guess, there are seraphs, which are fire angels, because they have fire wings. She meets one of them, and of course it's a love story, Romeo and Juliet. It's Romeo and Juliet meets Frankenstein with other dimensions of war and a apocalypse. Why not? So, that's this entire series, and it's really fun. Can't really tell what's going to happen next most of the time, or if you can, it's one of those things where you're like, I refuse to believe it, and then it happens and you're all sad. So yeah, so today we're going to be talking about Karou, who is our first character. Karou or Madrigal, whichever one you want to call her. She's called Karou most of the time, which means hope. And that's kind of a theme. There's a lot of good themes in here, because this is a deep series. So Karou, to be honest with you, I felt with Karou. Okay? Just I didn't hate her, I didn't dislike her, and I did like her, just at different times, and it's one of those things where after weighing it all out, I just felt about her. Just She wasn't the character I wanted to get back to. It was better than most characters though, so to be honest here, it was better than most characters. But I did like her, like I said, just by the end I was So Karou, she's pretty awesome because you first meet her, and Kaz, who is her ex-boyfriend, he's human by the way, is trying to scare her, and it doesn't work. She's just like, go away. And then of course he does it. He comes to try to win her back or annoy her or something. He shows up to her art class as a model. Guys, don't do that. Really, don't. And so she got some revenge by making him itch. Probably guess where. And I like that about her. And then the first one is her finding herself, really. Daughter of Smoke and Bone, she's finding herself. Rediscovering, the dimensions, almost. That's the best way to put it. She's, rediscovering the dimensions. And she's working with Brimstone. She kind of just goes with it. She doesn't really ask questions. She's just there's just this out there. And she can't tell anyone because she does, except she has this, way of, it's the opposite. She can't make something, that's a lie seem like the truth. No, not with her. With her, she can make the truth seem like a lie. A little backwards there. But she can do that, and I think that's pretty cool. It's like a reverse. And you see her go through all these different things as she goes to get elephant tusks. We never find out what those are for. And teeth. Teeth are the big thing, and she doesn't really know. But she can, tell which tooth is which one has power, which one can be used, which one can't be used, which one is too decayed. She can tell that stuff. And as she's just going through this, she has her friend Susanna, which is so awesome, and I'll get to her later with a different video. As she goes off to one place to get some teeth, and at this point, an angel kind of starts watching her. Yes, Akiva. We get into Akiva, and she doesn't really know I don't think she knows what to make of Akiva at first, because she sees him, and he is hot. Okay? I'm talking both ways. one, hot because he's a fire angel. Of course he's gonna be hot, and you know, hot as in he looks hot. So she doesn't really know like what to do at first, because immediately she thinks danger, and like everyone else around her is like, run, this is bad, he is bad. And she discovers the power of her Hamas, as they call it, the eye on their hand. And you know, she's just like pretty antsy, and she doesn't really know what to do with this, because then she tells Brimstone and he pushes her out, pushes her away. Now she really doesn't know what to do. And then the portal's burned, and now you have an even bigger problem. Except Akiva keeps watching her. She runs into Akiva again, pretty much wins that fight. Then again, he wasn't exactly trying, but she pretty much wins that fight against him, which is awesome. And like, they start talking, she finds out about the war, and then comes the wishbone, and he kind of is like freaking out. And honestly, at first I was like, she's his daughter. Yep, no, okay. That was a little out there, but that was my first thought. But turns out she's Madrigal, and I like how they ease into that. Like, break the stone, and then you just immediately get like snippets of these flashbacks, like when they first met, the execution, all these different things. And honestly, their love story, like what is going on, it's Romeo and Juliet with angels and Chimera. It really is. They met on like odd circumstances. She helped him when he was dying, and then he just goes to say thank you. He goes into like the Chimera territory, like the heart of it, just to say thank you, knowing full well that anyone finds him, he will die. Yeah, we'll talk about like him later, but I just thought I'd tell you guys that because that was so sweet. So sweet. And how she like saved him by going into another person, that really shows you how strong she is. Because she has to be a pretty strong soul to go possess someone else and take control of them for a while to free him. Of course, you know, she wasn't able to be like, hey, 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 I am not dead. And, you know, the end comes and it turns out her entire race is dead. That's a problem, and she runs off. And honestly, at first I was like, when she ran off, I was, why did you do that? Slap him. Yeah, I was like, slap him. And she was like, I should have killed him, I should have done something, I should have flashed the Hamas, something. But she didn't. She just left. And that's because, you know, she loves him. But now it gets complicated. So then the second book starts. Yeah, I talked a little while for the first one. The first one's my favorite by far. But then the second one starts, and now she's really depressed, and this is kind of where I started being with her, because I was like, yeah, I was with her, I was reading, every time I got to Akiva, I was trying so hard to be mad at him, you know, I was like, stop doing good things, I'm mad at you, and I did not blame her for being mad at him. I was just annoyed that she was with Diego, and that she was letting herself, like, basically be manipulated the way it was, because he was like controlling everything, calling the shots, making sure no one ever really talked to her, and everyone was still mad and distrusted her. Okay, and she's just thinking he's still in love, which he is. But they're trying to control her, and there were the few moments where she did rebel. Like, I love when she was talking, like, you know, there's a story about this castle. And, you know, Ten's like, yeah, what's that? Well, you see, well, you see, this happened, and but the moment they turn their back, they're gone. And she turns around and she's gone. I love that part, and she's just like watching they're invisible. Like, haha, you think I left. So I like that part. I loved it when Izza came back, and she was like starting to stand up and fight back against Diego. The part came when she was like depressed or just let herself be that, but this is where we start seeing her become more of a leader. She's fighting back against him, and then Diego pulls his little stunt. Yeah, you know the part where he tries to force her to. Yeah. Like I said, she's awesome because she can fight, and she fought back and killed him. Good for her. And so she killed him because he tried to do it with her, pretty much. She killed him, and then Ziri comes, and there was this thing with Ziri. It was one of those things where it's like he just had a crush on her, but you knew it was never going to happen. And he went into Diego for her, and they come up with this brilliant plan for Ziri to beat Thiago so that she doesn't have to bring Thiago back. And I was glad for that plan, because like I said, his soul, if they actually did, like, get it back, would be in the "oh Jesus, you stay dead" pile. You remember from this book, as we go into this book, and it's really awesome because now, like, Susanna's coming back, and just to bring her up for a second, I love her friendship with Susanna, because, you know, she's trying to protect them. She knows that Thiago's going to try to, like, Thiago would have tried to use them to, you know, get her to do what he wanted her to do, like threatening to kill them, so she got them out of there, and I just love how she's protective. And then this book comes, and like I said, because at this point I'm getting annoyed with both Karou and Akiva. Okay, I'm getting annoyed with both of them, because seriously, everyone knows it! Everyone, and they're not going to kiss or get together or anything, they're still sneaking off. Really? Come on. But they get in there. Thank you, Susanna, for forcing them to talk and in an enclosed space, pretty much. Yeah, she's like, okay, you guys gotta hide into the bathroom. Pushes them into the bathroom with the other Chimera that came, and is like, well then, that'll force them to be together. Yeah, they have to hide, and her plan is amazing. Let me just tell you that. Coming up with the idea to put the handprint on JL, I think that's how you say it, was amazing. Like, that was genius. And I love how, even though the war is done, the war has ended, she is still like, we need to resurrect everyone. It's not over yet. She's not going to, like, let herself celebrate until everything is done, everything is good, and everyone is at peace. Of course, in this one, you know, it ends and they do have, like, and they do get together, they're finally together, they spent a night together, and it is so sweet. So yeah, that's Karou for you. Like I said, I did get annoyed with her at some parts, but I, for the most part, did like her. Okay? For the most part, I did like her. And I love that she's really tough and smart, and I think she has good morals too. As you guys know, I always put something at the end of this for each series. The any Rick Riordan series, I will do a Rick Riordan tweet of the day because he's hilarious. The Rangers Apprentice series, I did a Rangers lesson for the day. So with this series, I decided to tell you something I want to tell a character. There's always something that I would really love to tell a character. You know those moments. You stop and you're like, I wish I could just go in there and tell you this right now. You just want to go in there, you want to give them a hug, you want to tell them something, you want to be like, everything will be alright, you can do this, give them encouragement. And for this series, if I could go in there and tell her something, this one's really hard for me because it's like I would want to warn her about Thiago. Like, really, really warn her about Thiago. I would want to tell her, you know, what Akiva's doing, even though she kind of did figure it out. But for the most part, I would probably want to just go in there and tell her, if I had to be vague and I couldn't say anything else. Okay, we're going with I can't say anything and I had to be vague. I would just go in there and tell her everything will be alright, you can do this, especially in Dreams of Blood and Starlight. That is what I would tell her. I'd go in there, I'd warn her, I would warn her of Thiago, I think. I'd just warn her right away of Thiago. I'd be like, just be careful and kill him faster. Okay, just to give her a heads up. So, that's my specific. I'd warn her about Thiago. My vague would be, everything will be alright, you can get through this, you will get through this. So why don't you tell me what you would want to tell Karou in the comments, since I'm doing that too, and this one you can actually be a part of, instead of me just telling you stuff. And that is the first character for Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Next time will be Akiva, because, well, like I said, Romeo and Juliet. She was the Juliet, he's the Romeo. So we gotta do the Romeo next. Okay, I know you guys thought it was over, but before I go, I do want to tell you something. All you Percy Jackson fans, I like to give you guys updates when something new comes out for any series that I read. You know, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, the whole series is already out. The last one just came out, but the Percy Jackson series is going strong, and I would like to tell you that Percy Jackson's Greek Gods is out. So here's the cover. Like I said, I'm sorry for the lighting, I really am. Here's the cover. It's hilarious. I'm about a good third of the way through it. like fourth of the way through it. It's hilarious reading about all these gods. He starts at the beginning and goes into these other things, and it's really funny because does sound like he is writing this, making up some dialogue for them to have. All the gods sound like teenagers, so that's even funnier. And just the comments he leaves in there is really funny, and it really gives you a better perspective on like the gods. I think we read the Percy Jackson series, and everything we know about them is like, I think most people who read the Percy Jackson series get like the myths from the Percy Jackson series, but now you get the actual myths from Percy's point of view, and that is just really fun and a good time all around. And they even bring up some myths. He even brings up some myths at the end where it's like, I know I didn't talk about this one, or this one, or this one, and you're like, wait a second, those were all mentioned in the books. Okay, that's fun. So just because it came out, I think, little sneak peek for you in here. I'll read you part of the introduction just to give you an idea. So it says, I hope I'm getting extra credit for this. A publisher in New York asked me to write down what I know about the Greek gods, and I was like, can we do this anonymously? Because I don't need the Olympians mad at me again. But if it helps you to know your Greek gods and survive an encounter with them, if they ever show up in your face, then I guess writing all this down will be my good deed for the week. Okay, so that's just the first three-ish paragraphs for you, not very long paragraphs, but that just should give you an idea of how this book goes, and it's really fun to read if you ever do. Okay, so I'm just telling you about that. Okay, bye!